Lily had always been fascinated by the graceful and powerful movements of tennis players on the court. As a little girl, she would eagerly watch every tennis match on TV and dream of one day becoming a champion herself. Growing up in a small town, Lily's opportunities to play and train in tennis were limited. But she was determined to succeed and sought out the best tennis coach in the area, a man called Coach Jim. He was renowned for his strict regimen, tough love, and ability to turn aspiring players into champions. On her first meeting with Coach Jim, Lily was nervous and intimidated. He was a stern-looking man of few words, who immediately sized her up with his all-seeing eyes. After a minute-long silence, he finally said, "And quat? So, you want to be a tennis star? And quat?" Lily nodded, eager to impress him. "And quat? Yes, Coach Jim. I want to be the best. And quat?" Coach Jim grunted and rubbed his chin. "And quat? Well, it won't be easy. You'll need to work hard. And I don't mean just a few hours a day. I mean, every day, until you can't move your arms or legs. And quat?" he said, pointing at a nearby court where two players were drenched in sweat and panting for air. Lily felt a bead of perspiration trickle down her neck. She wondered if she had what it took to meet Coach Jim's expectations. But she wasn't about to give up on her dreams. With the first lessons came disappointment. Coach Jim was relentless in his critique of her movements, always pointing out her flaws and telling her that she wasn't good enough. Lily would leave the court feeling exhausted and discouraged, her hopes of making it as a tennis champion fading day by day. But she refused to give up. She knew that it was only by persevering and pushing herself beyond her limits that she could ever hope to make her dreams come true. So, she kept on practicing, day in and day out, determined to prove to Coach Jim that she had what it took to succeed. As the weeks and months went by, Lily's perseverance and determination paid off. Her movements became more fluid and powerful, her serves more accurate, and her footwork more precise. Coach Jim started to take notice of her progress and began to provide her with more positive feedback and encouragement. Lily was thrilled by this newfound confidence and joy. She was finally starting to feel like she had what it took to make it as a tennis champion. But she knew that there was still a long road ahead, and that she would need to work even harder if she wanted to achieve her dream. The first tournament was a nerve-wracking affair. Lily had never before played against such fierce opponents, who attacked her with relentless speed and power. She felt like a novice in a sea of sharks, and Coach Jim's critiques and advice seemed to float past her ears without sinking in. As the weeks and months went by, Lily's perseverance and determination paid off. Her movements became more fluid and powerful, her serves more accurate, and her footwork more precise. Coach Jim started to take notice of her progress and began to provide her with more positive feedback and encouragement. Lily was thrilled by this newfound confidence and joy. She was finally starting to feel like she had what it took to make it as a tennis champion. But she knew that there was still a long road ahead, and that she would need to work even harder if she wanted to achieve her dream. The first tournament was a nerve-wracking affair. Lily had never before played against such fierce opponents, who attacked her with relentless speed and power. She felt like a novice in a sea of sharks, and Coach Jim's critiques and advice seemed to float past her ears without sinking in. Their relationship had grown beyond that of a coach and a student. They had come to know each other deeply, sharing not only their love for tennis but also their secrets, struggles, and triumphs. Coach Jim had become a father figure to Lily, offering her guidance and wisdom, fueling her passion and determination. It was during the finals of one of the biggest tournaments of the year that everything changed. Lily was playing against her most fierce rival, a woman who had beaten her in the past 3 tournaments. The pressure was intense, and the stakes were high, with thousands of dollars and a chance to compete in the Wimbledon championships on the line. Lily started off strong, but her rival soon caught up, matching her shot for shot, swing for swing. It was a grueling match, with both players giving it their all and refusing to back down. As the sun began to set, the boundless energy with which the game was played dwindled. Both players were panting and gasping for breath, arms and legs heavy. With one final upswing, Lily finally pushed her opponent out of bounds, securing the match. The crowd went wild, chanting her name and hailing her as a true champion. But Lily was suddenly aware of a strange sensation. She looked over at Coach Jim, who had been sitting close to the court, and saw that he had passed out. She ran over, heart racing, and saw that he was unresponsive, his face white as a sheet. And quote, "Coach Jim. What happened?" And quote, she shouted, shaking him. She crouched over him as he held her hand tightly. And quote, "It's okay, Lily," and quote, he said in a hoarse voice. And quote, "I'm just so proud of you. You did it. You're a champion." And quote, Lily couldn't hold back the tears that streamed down her face in relief and realization. She had done it. She had become what she had always dreamed of, but it had come at a terrible cost. Coach Jim was rushed to the hospital, where he was diagnosed with a severe heart attack. He remained in ICU for weeks, and Lily stayed by his side, reading to him, holding his hand, and praying for his recovery. She knew that he had given her everything, and that it was now her turn to support him. After a long and painful recovery period, Coach Jim eventually returned home, weakened but alive, and with a new appreciation of life. It took a while for him to recover fully, but he watched with pride as Lily went on to compete in Wimbledon, finishing among the top 10 players in the world. As for their relationship, it had evolved from a student-coach dynamic to something much deeper and more profound. Lily and Coach Jim were now partners, committed to supporting each other through the ups and downs of life and love. They had both realized that they needed each other, perhaps more than anyone else in the world. And so, Lily continued to play tennis, winning trophy after trophy, and inspiring young girls all over the world to pursue their dreams. But her greatest victory was the love and respect of Coach Jim, who had given her the strength to become the tennis champion she was always meant to be. And quote, "That girl," and quote, he would often say, and quote, "had the heart of a lion and the soul of an angel. She was my greatest success, my crowning glory, and I loved her more than anything else in the world." Unquote.